So a while back, I made this video. The biggest complaint about that video was that I called the sport soccer instead of football, which is hilarious because if I called it football, I would just look like an obviously American YouTuber trying to pretend like he's from somewhere else. Maybe we just need to accept that people from different regions in the world do things differently and have different names for things. It's a tough concept to grasp, I know. But anyway, the next biggest complaint was, as one or two of you pointed out, soccer is not the sport Rocket League most closely resembles. It's much more like the very famous, high-paced game loved by Canadians and played on ice. I'm of course talking about curling. But in all seriousness, maybe the nearly identical features in Rocket League and hockey that we're about to explore explain why J-Naps and Squishy are so damn good. Because Canada. Get it? The most obvious similarity is the playing area itself, enclosed rectangular arena with rounded edges. The only differences are that hockey has a neutral zone that deters players from just doing long clears. And of course, hockey goals aren't flush with the end line. But it's kind of interesting that the old SARP goals aren't flush. So maybe Psyonix originally didn't intend it to be car soccer, but car hockey. One of the things walls allow you to do is to dump the puck into the zone, much like when players in Rocket League play long ball to put pressure on the opponent and steal the mid boost. This is much different than in soccer, where there's both an offside rule and a goal kick if the ball goes out of bounds to deter that type of long ball. In hockey, however, dumping the puck into the zone is a legitimate strategy. It's also worth noting that the design of the pitch or rink is shaped so that a lot of scrums happen in the corner, where the attackers are constantly trying to cross the ball, while the defense is constantly sending it back into the corner. This happens in both hockey and Rocket League.
Keeps going. Along now to Bonino. Bonino has Kessel nearby.
Players can also use the sidewalls to get around defenders without the consequence of giving the other team a throw-in. Rocket League players use this all the time to get around charging defenders. Just like Ovechkin does a self-pass here to beat an over-aggressive defender.
He scores! And scoops it past Carey Price, unsuspecting, but the great player.
Obviously, demos are not allowed in soccer, but in hockey, it's a staple. Checking can stop an offensive play in his tracks. Strategic demos are also a great way to clear a path for your teammate in Rocket League.
Sniping turbo pulls it out of the air!
Gets to the right. What a solid hit by Chris Neal on Brian Boyle. He came right across through the middle of the ice and dropped a shoulder right into him.
Yager, nice move around Brent.
This is a great play by Yager. But if we look closely, one of his teammates takes a defender out of the play to clear the way.
Not defend against. Great individual effort.
The long ball or dumping the puck into the zone aren't the only strategies. Infield passing can be very effective, as players often form triangles to dismantle the defense.
There comes Drippe.
Now Cato, infield pass, Vanapanta unboxed.
Let's not forget that the similar number of players on the field or ice is also much more similar in Rocket League and hockey than in soccer, and mistakes are more easily punished.
Kennedy. Everybody touches, and then.
Oh, and then the times where passing isn't needed, there's always the Doomsy dish. What makes Rocket League redirects even more like hockey than soccer is the lack of a cherry-picking offside rule in hockey. In hockey, once the puck is in the zone, then cherry-pick all you want, which allows for a lot of sick cherry-picking plays.
This one down to the ground, although a lot puts that one straight up. That is the angle of the century! Look at that unbelievable display of hand-eye coordination by Alex Killorn, batting it out of the air and past Corey Crawford, Eddie.
They shut out Complexity. Now Complexity trying to shut them
What
out. And
on
oh my
earth?
goodness! They couldn't stop a lot for long.
He does this over and over again. You can't call it a fluke. I don't know how he finds these angles or how he's mastered these shots.
What even is that shot?
He does it every week.
Falk tees it up, lets it go. They score. Deflected in. Eric Stahl from the ice, I think. That was amazing. I mean, Eric Stahl made a beeline for the area.
Yeah, well, and there's his stick. I mean,
That's unreal.
I mean, it was right beside the left skate of Orpik. Orpik's in great position. I mean, what do you want Orpik to do?
You know
At
you're
this
good.
point in time.
Oh my! I was waiting for it. I saw him coming across like he missed the first one, and you're out of position. He stole the boost. He's like, I'm going to come across, and then I'm going to score it.
I mean, this is something special that we're watching. It just is not this easy, folks. Trust me, that one there was beyond belief.
Hockey has line rotations and substitutions that happen during plays, instead of doing that during a stoppage in play like they do in soccer. We can kind of think of hockey players getting tired as running out of boost. It's common for hockey players to dump the puck into the zone to give time to rotate out. In Rocket League, it's common to flick the ball into the zone and return for boost rather than risk a 50-50 with no boost. It's a little bit of a stretch, but you see the comparison to delay and then fall back for a change to prepare. In hockey, players call it gap control, where the defender skates backward to slow the offense down. The defender measures up the attacker and makes sure not to give too much of a gap that allows the attacker a free shot. Then the defender slowly closes the gap until the other defenders can get back, or forcing the attacker safely away from the goal. This happens all the time in Rocket League, which is called shadow defense, in which the defender recognizes they shouldn't just dive in and instead shadow the attacker until a safe challenge can be made or until teammates get back.
Pass for Rick Nash. Nash now tries to slip to the fence and walk in. Nice move. Another nice move. He scored. What a goal.
This is basically a double mind game by Rick Nash, followed by beating the goalie. And here we see Lethamyr with a similar double mind game. Although those were platinum players, but they're also known as grand champs with bad teammates. And here we have what's best described as the spinorama.
Kane, spinorama scores! Patrick Kane! Oh dear.
What's interesting about power sliding in Rocket League is that it is kind of similar to ice skating, the way you're sliding across the pitch. Like, here's a spinorama from Squishy Muffins. And of course, there's air dribbling in hockey too, right? Well, I think this counts.
What a creative play by Peter Schaefer. What a goal.
And this is a great backboard read, clearly.
2-1 Detroit lead. Henrik ahead for Daniel, in on goal, Deke scores!
So anyway, thanks to your comments, I actually did learn something for once. So thanks for helping me understand that Rocket League is actually more like hockey than soccer. If you're wondering where we got all this hockey knowledge from, we had a hockey expert, Sean, helping us out on this one. If you're a fan of hockey in general or NHL 2019, check out Sean's YouTube channel listed in the description. And of course, a huge thank you to Orange for leading and writing and production in this video. Tune in next time for 5 reasons why Rocket League is literally curling.